Welcome back to Time for Change Kitchen. I'm Danielle Bassoni. Earlier today we made fermented vegetables, and while I'm in the pickling mood, I thought we would make some Bavarian sauerkraut. This is very easy to make. It's so delicious, and once you try this, you'll want it all the time. So just like the others, we're just going to take our cabbage, and this is kind of a small to medium cabbage, and we're going to slice it down the middle. We're quartering it, and we'll get rid of these little stalks in the center, and we can add these to vegetable broth later. And we'll take this leaf, and I'm going to cut out this hard part because we tend to pick those out anyway. And we'll just roll this up and cut across, and that makes that easier to deal with. I've taken my little bowl away that I usually slide this into, just because I don't have room on this countertop for everything. And we'll just lift it like this. And we're cutting them in thin ribbons. I've actually tried using my shredding blade on my Cuisinart to make this, and it makes it too fine. It's more of a minced cabbage that you end up with, and I prefer to have a little more texture to my sauerkraut. Although it was very, very delicious. We have 1.5 teaspoons of salt, a teaspoon of caraway seeds, and a tablespoon and a half of sugar. This is a sweet and sour sort of sauerkraut. And we're going to massage that in. I'm making a mess here. I'm also going to add about half of these caraway seeds. And we're going to add half of the sugar. And now we'll finish with the rest of the cabbage. Okay, so we're massaged this in very well, and we've broken up some of the cell walls so that the salt and sugar can get in there and do their magic. And we're going to let this sit for maybe a half an hour. And in the meantime, I'm sterilizing jars to put these in, and I'll show you what to do next. This process will take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. But it's from this point on, you just have to watch it every day and burp the lids periodically. Okay, there you have it. Okay, we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Okay, we're back. So this has been sitting for maybe 45 minutes, and I decided it needed a little more caraway. So I added another half teaspoon. So it's got a teaspoon and a half of caraway in it. And this is nice and wet. You can wring it out and you can see moisture at the bottom of the bowl. So I'm going to put these in these little canning jars. These happen to be ball jars, but you can get whatever you want. And I'm going to pack this down. You can see the water coming to the top, and this is water that has just leached from the bowl, from the vegetables. Okay. This is so delicious, and I made these because I like to use them with carrot dogs. It just is really a very delicious way to give your carnivorous relations something that they can feel that they're getting something they're used to. I haven't had sauerkraut this good since I lived in Germany. Okay. All right. So we're going to cap these. And I'm going to let them ferment on these little plates, so that if the water rises and spills out of them, they have these plates to catch them, so they don't ruin your countertops. And I'm also going to place them on a seedling mat, just like I did with the other fermented vegetables. And we are going to leave these loose so that the air can escape. At night, I'll tighten it up and turn it over to make sure that it's all covered in water, so that nothing has an opportunity to dry out. And in the morning, I'll flip it back over and gently burp it, so that if there's any pressure, it will slowly release and not spew all over the house. And I've had that happen. Okay, so we'll look at this again tomorrow, and we'll see where we are then. It should take us, you can probably eat this in a week, but it would be better to wait for 2 weeks. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow. Okay, so this is our Bavarian sauerkraut. This is day 2. This one is pretty dry, but this one has spilled over a little bit. Since I started the video, I decided to take these little glass weights and drop them into the sauerkraut, and that holds them down so that they can become covered with the juices better. And now we're not tightening those. And you can see I've done the same with this. And this one became a little more full, and so it spilled over a little bit. And I'm going to take this. You can see the liquid pooling there. I'm going to take this and throw it out. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today, and we'll check it again in the morning. Okay, this is day 3 of our Bavarian sauerkraut. As you can see, I have the little glass weights in here that I took from the other sauerkraut I was working on. And this is becoming quite thick. And you can see that it has leached out into this a little bit. And the reason it's thick is because of the sugar in it. And so we'll just cover that and check this one out. This one is more full. That's good. And you can see how actively it's fermenting. This thing is fermenting like crazy. And so we'll let this sit another day, and we'll be back to look at it again tomorrow. Okay, we're at day 4 of our Bavarian sauerkraut. There's very little moisture collecting at the bottom of the plate, and we're just going to take a peek at it. You can see that it's still very active. We're going to cover this loosely and see if it spills over any more tonight, and if it doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and cap it. And this one is still covered nicely with liquid, and it's still also fermenting quite nicely. And so we'll do the same. So we'll see tonight how it's doing, and we'll potentially cap it in the morning. Okay, so it's been 4 days, and this is the evening of the 4th day. And I am going to check this out. This is very nice. It's covered with water, and it's got the weight holding it down. You can see that there are bubbles around the edges, so it's still slightly fermenting. And this one as well. Now this one is not completely covered in water, which is interesting, but we'll see how it works out. And but at this point, I want to slow down the fermentation, and so I'm going to take it off the heating mat and leave it like this for another couple of days, and we'll just check it every day and see how it looks. But I think at this point it's about as good as it's going to get. It's got a really nice flavor. I've tasted it, and it's really good. And the longer it sits, the sourer it'll become. And so we're going to let this sit and just mature. And we'll eat this in the next week or 2. Probably in another week we can start using it. And that will mean it is time for pastrami and Reuben sandwiches and hot dogs with sauerkraut. Okay, I'm Danielle Bassoni, serving up whole foods for whole health.